Hi, this is Alan Schimmel here for DevOps.com, DevOps TV, and we're going to be talking DevOps Express with two members of the DevOps Express consortium. Matt Hines, who when he's not moonlighting as a DevOps.com host and writer, is with CA Technologies, and Bill McGuire of Sauce Labs.
Bill McGee.
Bill McGee. Who's Bill McGuire?
I don't know. I think he won the
Gold
Gold
Glove player.
First base. The A's or something?
Bill, I apologize.
No
Bill
problem.
McGee of Sauce Labs. So first of all, gentlemen, I don't know if all of our audience actually even knows what DevOps Express is and what it's about. Who wants to go first to explain it? What does DevOps Express mean to you, Bill?
Rock, paper, scissors. Well, actually what it is to me is a very wonderful alliance, the beginning of an alliance, a collaboration, a consortium of companies that are trying to help create actionable frameworks for other companies to take a look at and apply where applicable to their own DevOps or their emerging DevOps practice. So you've got people from around the ecosystem who are getting together, putting out thought leadership pieces, trying to publish reference architectures that other folks can use, and really help with the education portion, but most important, the word is actionable, because there's just a lot of stuff out there floating around about DevOps and people's journeys and where they are, where they're not, but they need to have some actionable information to help them get over the curve and begin their own journey.
Matt?
I think it's actually very reflective of where we see the market moving at the conference this year. It's not just about culture anymore. People are talking about tooling. How about that? And the genesis of this consortium was how to support real-world production tool chains and workflows, right? So these are some of the products, some of the technologies that are being used in today's environments, regardless of size, right? Leading tools that are coming together, and it's all about easing deployment and integration of these particular solutions, right? So how do we support, the evolving implementations that are ongoing out there, and tie some of the tools together in an easier way, support reference architectures, and do some cool, interesting go-to-market stuff, thought leadership to help practitioners adopt.
Absolutely. So let me just throw my 2 cents into the pile here. And I should mention that in addition to DevOps.com, I'm also co-founder of DevOps Institute, which is also a founding member of DevOps Express.
Lucky to have you.
And so the way I look at it is when, DevOps has come so far so fast and it's grown, but it's still sort of an 800-pound baby Huey, right, in terms of its maturity. You got to look at it beyond its size, but when we look at it, its maturity. But what we do see when we look at the many, and it might be as much as 25%, let's say, of the Global 2000 today who use DevOps, and a larger percentage of startups, what we do see is that there has emerged, and is emerging, a common sort of tool set, 80-20 rule, right? 80% of these organizations are using the same dozen or so tools, right? Maybe less than a dozen. And it's pretty consistent now, right? The trend is clear. And the thing about movements such as DevOps and technology, movements and trends like this is that once it's very hard to unlock. Once some of these early leaders, first movers, are locked in, there's a reason to have that first mover advantage, and it is an advantage. And when I look at DevOps Express, I see many of the first movers in the DevOps space as part of it. And so to me, that not justifies, but enforces that these are the companies that people are using in DevOps, and at the same time, as these are emerging, we owe it to the market to make sure that they really do work together, work better, and so forth, right? Funny story, I was just interviewing some of the folks from HPE earlier, and this particular division at HPE, because there are many divisions today, some are HPE, some are going to be HPE, some used to be HPE. They were all HP at one point. It's a convoluted story, but they recognize that many organizations doing DevOps are not using sort of that packaged commercial software, right, that we've seen from HP, IBM, or CA in the past, and even we're adopting open source. and not for across the board, but for specific uses. Right? I'm sure you guys probably see this with Sauce Labs, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Testing as a service and so forth. And so rather than kind of changing that, Muhammad came to the mountain rather than the mountain came to Muhammad, they're actually forming a services team that goes out and helps these customers use these open source tools in conjunction with HP infrastructure, right? And I think that's not DevOps Express, but that's part of that whole mantra of, we've got to service this market in what they're using, and what they're using are the DevOps Express.
Right, and I think that dovetails nicely with some conversations we're going to have this week about taking that customer-centric focus. It's what is going on in the customer's life, what is going on in their environment, what are they contending with that other people can help with by sharing what they're doing. And you make a good point about this conference. What I think is terrific, I love hearing people share what they've done and how they've gotten to a particular place in their own DevOps journey. It seems like that's part of the emotional side of things. It's okay to share and talk about it, because you still have your own differentiated product that you're sending to the consumer, but your ability to get it out there quickly and with a higher degree of quality is really what it's all about.
Yeah. Emerging practices, best practices, right? We're starting to get to a point where I think best practices are starting to become a reality. And it's everybody's a snowflake, but at the same time, to your point, Alan, these are the tool sets that seem to be rising to the top. All that said, and to your point, Bill, we're going to have some meetings this week, as you guys know, and it has to stay user-centric, right? And this is not a monolith where we're going to say these are the folks that are involved and everybody else go play in your own sandbox, right? It has to stay open, and we're going to figure out ways to involve other people in this as other technologies emerge. But again, the impetus from the start was, how do we take these core technologies that seem to be percolating to the top and get them to work a little bit better together in terms of integration and deployment, and we'll move forward from there in terms of trying to support best practices.
Excellent. So guys, I know DevOps Express is only just a few months old and 2 months old, right? And there's some important meetings this week. When do you think we might hear more about kind of next steps for the Express?
Can we tell you after Friday?
Sure. Well, you can tell us on DevOps.com if someone wants to volunteer.
We can do that.
We certainly will.
Just saying.
It's iterative at this point, right? We're having conversations. We're meeting on a weekly basis. There's a lot of engagement.
Great.
And we're looking at ways to not only, again, work together, but also publicize what we're doing and get the community involved and get folks like, integrators and analyst community involved to help guide our direction, which I think that's how we have to be.
Yeah, I've got some ideas around it. I remember when we started the Cloud Security Alliance, Matt and I share a security background. And I remember how that got kicked off, and some of the other organizations I've been involved with over the years. A board of governors or an independent board, especially because you're dealing with vendors, other things like that. But I'm sure, it'll all come out in the wash. Beyond DevOps Express, Bill, of course, Sauce Labs is just rocking it. I see all over the place. Anything in particular you want to share?
Well, no, we've just had a terrific year so far, and it continues to snowball, which is absolutely terrific because we play this, we were talking earlier, very interesting role that we are a linchpin, testing is a linchpin.
Sure is.
And when you're a platform as a service and you're part of somebody's build chain, you've got to be there 24/7. And so we've just really built out the network operations team. We're going through our own DevOps journey, and it's really made a difference in terms of how quickly we can provision for new customers, the amount of service we're getting, the feedback we're getting from them. So it's just been a very terrific year so far, and we love what the DevOps community is doing. Part of this, we talk about all-day DevOps, a session that Sonatype is running, I guess a week from today. Almost 10,000 people have signed up for this thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But
that's all-day DevOps. We're actually a media sponsor over it. And again, there's a common set of people, companies involved in a lot of these DevOps activities.
Right.
So, and that's part of it. And of course, Sonatype's part of DevOps Express as well. So it's starting, you see it all, the circle moving. Anyway, gentlemen, if that's it, we're going to call it a wrap here. It does. Continued success with Sauce Labs. Bill, it's a pleasure seeing you. Matt, Great for all your work.
Can't get rid of me.
No, we can't. You're like a bad penny. Keep coming back, man.
Oh man.
You know, we've known each other a long time, Matt. So, looking forward to hearing more about DevOps Express after this week, guys.
Very good.
Do your
We'll be
thing.
back to you.
Thank you.
All right, this is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com's DevOps TV here at DUZ 16, San Francisco.